Good afternoon, tourists. Tour de Force here. As seen by my recent content, I like to keep a big variety to the channel to keep things from getting stale for me. I'd rather be doing things I'm interested in rather than just making beats 24/7. Gets pretty boring after a while, even if I do like making them. For this video, I want to introduce one of my biggest influences, not just musically, but also as a person. That is the one and only Fugazi, a late 80s to early 2000s post-hardcore band from Washington, D.C. Instead of just making a video ranking their albums on listenability, I went to rank their albums based on enjoyability to play guitar, bass, and drums to. I'm gonna ignore the vocals here, mostly just because I'm a dog shit vocalist, so let's get into it. Starting off incredibly strong with Fugazi's legendary self-titled EP, this thing is chock full of catchy, fun riffs that are so easily jammable in multiple different sections on multiple different songs. The amount of energy these songs give off makes playing any instrument along to it very engaging. If you turn this on in your practice session, you are going to have a fun day practicing. I'm putting this one to S tier right away. Very strong start. What the f is that album cover? Not one I can see myself coming back to, really. The mixing makes it kind of hard to differentiate between the guitars, which makes it hard to play along with, as well as transcribe or even with playing by feel. The songs themselves also don't hit as hard as the previous EPs, making it just kind of overshadowed. I'm gonna have to give this a high C tier, but I already know it's not the worst of the discography in terms of jamminess. The 3 Songs EP. Now we're back on track with very fun songs. This short 3-song EP has a lot of variety to play along with. We have the anthemic song number 1, which recalls to the first EP with how much energy it just gives off. It's also just a really fun riff to play. I love it. Joe number 1 on the other hand is instrumental, making it very nice for some one-on-one improvisational practice for any of the instruments. Break-In is also very fun to play with, since it's so close to hardcore punk, especially in speed, making for a great practice song for increasing your endurance. This is an easy A tier, and the first on the list. The first album on the list. I mean, it came as no surprise to me, but this is the best, most jammy, most energetic 35 minutes I've ever played along with on any of my instruments. All of the songs, yes, including Greed, have amazing and fun riffs that are so memorable that I can play each and every single one on my guitar to this day. And I haven't even practiced them in about a year. What a beautifully made record that feels just right for jamming along to. Top of the S tier it goes. I also might be a little biased with this one. Steady Diet of Nothing. I don't really have much to say about this one either. Similar to the Margin Walker EP, I just don't come visit this one very often. Even my favorite song on the record, Long Division, isn't very fun to play along with as much as it is to listen to. Very much a dud in terms of jamminess. I can't really see myself practicing to this one. I'll still give it a C tier though. Possibly the noisiest on this list, In on the Kill Taker is great for guitarists who just want to make noise, freak out, and be happy. Or sad, depending on who you are. A lot of the riffs certainly kick ass, and my favorite to jam along with on this record, Public Witness Program, is no exception. Really a great record to jam to if you can get into it. A tier for me, but below 3 songs personally on the jammy tier list. Hey, can you give me your best go?
Go?
Red Medicine. Some of the riffs just kick ass. I don't know what more to say. There's a bit of downtime on this record despite the jamminess, but the high notes that it has are extremely high. Specifically songs like Do You Like Me, Bed for the Scraping, Birthday Pony, and Target are extremely fun, catchy, and energetic songs to play along with. It really reminds me of... Then you have the more subdued, experimental songs that can sometimes take away from the jamminess for me. Certainly not in the listenability though. This album is very interesting to listen to in terms of tonality. High A tier for me. End hits. If this album was just it'd still be at least B tier. That song is possibly one of their best, but I digress. Despite having some pretty jank songwriting, this is still very jammy if you can figure out the spastic rhythms and changes. The second half might be a bit hard to jam with though, as it is pretty slow and avant-garde at times. Definitely their most experimental, and it shows in how it jams. High B tier it goes. This is what I was alluding to earlier when I said that Steady Diet wasn't the lowest on this list. Maybe I'm biased because this is also my least favorite of theirs on a listenability standpoint as well, but the songs just do not jam, and I struggle the most with this one to play along with. Maybe if you play the piano it's better? Low C tier and the lowest album on this list for jammability. The Furniture EP. I actually only recently found out about this EP. Regardless though, the title song absolutely f***ing jams the f*** out. Such a catchy and funky riff that I just love. As for the rest of the songs, they are just alright on the jam scale. Number 5 is an instrumental that very much restates the idea of previous songs like Brendan Number 1 and Joe Number 1. Pretty jammable as well. Hello Morning is not that fun of a jam for me personally, or maybe I just don't like this one part that Geese sings in the middle. Whoops, I wasn't supposed to talk about the vocals. Anyways, high B tier for me, especially due to the title song. The Argument, and their last album. Is it this or that is their most acclaimed album? I'm not too sure. Either way though, this is probably their most technical from a textural point of view, making some of the jams harder to get into than the others. If you're a big fan of airy guitar tones and more concentrated playing and a little bit more technicality, this is the album for you. Most of the songs are very subdued, making the jams more focused and serious. Still a fun album to jam to, and our last on the list. This lands itself in the middle of A tier for me. Well, there it is, the complete Fugazi tier list based on the jammability for me personally. If you don't know who Fugazi are at this point in this video, please go and give them a listen. I'm sure you won't regret it. And if you are a Fugazi fan, let me know what you think in the comments below. Also as well, please like and subscribe as it helps out the channel. Anyways, that's all for this video. Take care everyone. Tour de Force out.